Welcome to today's live stream. We're here with a very special guest in Jim Ingram. He's gone through an absolutely incredible transformation in the last several years. And so I wanted to bring him on, kind of let him share his story, his transformation, because I think it's truly changed his life. So first off, Jim, thank you so much for coming on and doing this, man.
Hey, Charlie, it's great to be here. I appreciate you thinking about me and asking me to do it.
Let's get straight into it. So before we get into all the questions and the journey and the transformation, all that stuff, let's give the audience some context. Where you're from, how old you are, what do you do for work?
Yeah, I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas, in the United States, down in the southern part of the United States. I'm 58 years old. I've grown up most of my life here in Arkansas. I am a allergy and asthma specialist, a physician. And I've been doing that. Next month, it'll be 27 years in my practice that I've been doing that. So I feel very blessed and I love what I do. It's more than just a job. It's kind of like a mission for me and I love it.
Dude, that's awesome. 58 years old. So you're out here. You got an age is no excuse and you're kind of proving that. That's awesome.
Hey, you're only as old as you think you are.
I love that. I know you mentioned that to me in chats before, so I love that. Cool. So obviously you've kind of shared with me your story kind of already in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years now. It's been, I think, since about 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing kind of your story since you kind of made that decision to transform your body and your life? Right. You have an incredible story, so I would love to get
I've been active my whole life. I played sports in high school, played basketball. My father was a college basketball coach. So sports was always important to me. I hated to run because I ran all the time. But after I graduated from high school, I went to college and I wasn't playing basketball anymore. And I had to do something. So I started running. So I've been a runner my whole life, but you can run. And the older you get, unfortunately, you find this out. You can't exercise your way out of a bad diet.
Amen.
I can run my butt off, every day. But if I eat terribly or not terribly, but just, not healthy, it doesn't matter. You still gradually gain weight. And over the years, I was running, I stayed active. But I just kept gradually gaining, 2 or 3, 4 pounds a year. And then you turn around and you look, you're up to a size 38 and your waist and you weigh about 240. You've never weighed that much in your life. You were 165 when you graduated from high school. And, I got to the point where I got to do something. And, I told you before, I never was happy with how I looked. I mean, I was always either too skinny or too this or too that. And I've always been I didn't think I was handsome. I didn't like my body shape. But I got to the point where it's like, the only person that can take care of that is me. Mm-hmm. I can't wave a magic wand and get it to go away. I can't wish I can't wish that I look like Chris Evans and make it happen. My Harry Potter wand broke a few weeks ago. So, and so I got to the point where I got to do something. So I did a high protein, low carb, low fat diet program. And, those are good. They're great. I lost like 38 pounds in 3 months. But if you go back to eating the way you did before, you'll gain it back. Yeah. But what I did learn, it was good. It helped me lose weight, but it also taught me how to eat healthy after I got off of the diet. And I stuck with it after I got off the diet. And, I went from like 238 to like 192, and that was too much. That picture that you shared was when I was at my lowest, and I was too skinny. I mean, I looked unhealthy. I mean, I looked healthier than I did 3.5 months before, but I knew that was not where I wanted to stay. And so it was about then that I started working out more and going to the gym more often. I still ran a lot, but I would work out like 2 days a week and do some weights. And I had a couple of friends that we worked out with. And so, and then about 2 years ago, I joined this aerobics class called Insanity. I don't know if you've ever heard of Insanity, but it's a program, that And so I just started doing this insanity class, and our teacher was great. She, she was really good. And so I started doing that and working out 2 days a week and still running. And I just got to where I love to go to the gym. I mean, it really, I was going through some tough times personally in 2018, 2019. I was depressed for the first time in my life, and my exercise in my gym was one of the things that kept me afloat and kept me balanced, because I mean, there's no better antidepressant than natural endorphins.
Amen.
And when you release those, it makes you feel better. And I started seeing some results, and that made me feel better, and that excited me. And then I wanted a personal trainer, so I asked my aerobics teacher if she knew anybody. She said, "Well, I'm a personal trainer. I'll train you." I was like, "Okay." I liked her. I said, "Okay." So we started working out 3 days a week, and I liked it even more. I saw results. And then COVID hit in March of 2020, and she quit training. I was like, "Oh my God, what am I going to do? My gym's closed, So I went and got some exercise equipment. I got a couple of dumbbells, and I made do. In Arkansas, the gyms were only closed for a couple of months, thank God. And but then when the gyms opened back up, I started working out 6 days a week. And she taught me things to do to lift and to increase. And so I started working out 6 days a week. I loved it. I do it religiously. And I went from about 205 in weight. I'm up to about 218, 220 pounds now, but it's all muscle. It's no fat. And weight is not my end all be all. My fat muscle ratio is what I look for. And I don't care really how much I weigh. I went from a 38 waist 5 years ago. I'm now a 34 waist, and that's perfect for me. For my height, I'm 6'3", so 220 is a great weight for me. 225, if it's muscle, 230, I don't care, so, and I'm wearing clothes that I never was able to wear. For the first time in my life, I feel wonderful about how I look. I know for a 58-year-old, there ain't many 58-year-olds that look as good as I do. And I walk into a room now, and I know people are looking at me, and that makes me feel good. Not from a narcissistic standpoint, but just I feel good about myself. Mm-hmm. And when you feel good about yourself, it's amazing the difference that people see in your countenance. And when you walk into a room, when you talk to them, I can't tell you the number of people that have seen me on Facebook, that I grew up with, that I graduated from high school, that I don't see at all. And they're like, "What are you doing? You look 10 years younger." And, there's been some personal changes, but a lot of it's just, I feel great. I feel great about who I am and where I am with my exercise. And it shows,
Dude, amazing. And I know with you, so kind of your heaviest and your most out of shape, you said you were 238, right?
Yeah, 238. But you saw my picture, how much of that was just gut.
Exactly. And I was gonna say, I'm really glad they brought up the body recomposition kind of thing, because obviously you went from 238 to below 200, and now you're back up. Yeah. But you're at the current weight that you're at now, like 215, 220, is looking significantly better than that 220 when you're kind of on the fat loss journey, right? So that's something that goes definitely overlooked, is especially with newer trainees, having that ability to do a body recomp where maybe you don't lose a crazy amount of weight, but instead you turn a lot of fat mass into muscle mass, right? And in my opinion, that's much better than losing all this weight, getting unhealthy, getting really skinny, and not having any energy, right? So I'm really glad you brought that up. And then, the next thing was with the things outside of your physical changes, your confidence, your self-image. It seems like you're a lot happier, more energetic, a lot of those things. For me as well, I definitely attribute a lot of my positive characteristics through fitness. I used to be very shy, insecure, and I feel like I gained a lot of confidence. I feel better about myself, kind of what you were saying, through my own physical journey as well. So super glad. Yeah,
exactly.
Cool, man. So right when you kind of started your transformation, what was like the biggest struggle at the time?
Well, for me, I never really worked out. I didn't do any, weight training or anything. So I needed, and I had, like I said, I worked out with a couple of friends who showed me some stuff. And, but my main thing was my diet. I mean, when you're 58, diet is probably 80% of your health. Like I said, you can't work your way out of a bad diet. You could exercise for 3 or 4 hours a day. If you eat unhealthy or eat, out of balance, it doesn't matter, And so for me, the diet was the biggest thing. And when I made that transformation with the weight loss and learned how to eat more healthy, and, diet is 2 things: what you put in your mouth and how much you put in.
Simple as that, right?
Exactly. So you got to know what you're putting in, and you got to curtail how much you put in, and if you eat right and eat, small amounts throughout the day, you don't have to gorge yourself with meals and stuff to feel satisfied. And if you're eating enough protein, I also have, in the last 2 years, I've increased my protein intake quite a bit. And I still watch my fat content. I still watch my carbs, but I probably eat more carbs than I used to, just because I'm working out a lot. I need it.
Yeah.
And, if you work out, the carbs will take care of themselves. The fat won't, but the diet. And then just learning great workouts to do in the gym and stuff like that. So yeah, by far dieting was, the hardest thing for me.
And that's probably the main thing I see with people struggling, especially like newer trainees. Most people definitely undereat protein, like by a huge margin. They think carbs are the devil, right? Because it's kind of like these common like fitness myths that you see out there about nutrition,
right?
And you kind of right away and started incorporating that. I guess my question here was because obviously, whenever someone starts a fitness journey, whether that be to build muscle or lose fat, it's usually that like first month or two where it's like they really struggle with motivation, right? It's really hard to kind of get over that like initial like hump. But once you're like kind of over that, then it becomes a lot easier. For you, do you think it was like kind of getting you to a routine, or what was kind of that driving factor to help you like get over that first initial month where it might be tough to have the motivation to work out every day where you're not yet seeing any results?
Well, for me, with the diet, it was just doing it and figuring out what to eat and when to eat. And then, once I lost the weight, I already knew how to eat. For me, then it was figuring out how to shop at the grocery store to get what I could, because I'm a physician. So my lunches, I either get a lot of food brought to me or, or I had to go out, but I had to retrain, hey, I can just do some prep, get the right stuff at the grocery store and take my lunch. And then at night when I'm cooking and stuff, I've prepped and I can cook easily and know what to cook. I know good things to eat, bad things to eat, things to stay away from. And, listen, I'm not going to starve myself the rest of my life. I like to eat.
Exactly.
And so every once in a while, I'll have a cheat meal, and I'm not going to give a, what. So, so a lot of it was how to shop and how to prepare, your food and everything. So, but I got that figured out fairly quickly. And I think I've done a really good job at staying consistent. I'm going on vacation for 4 days starting on Thursday.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that. I can't take my blender with me. I can't, so I eat smart, but I don't worry about it, and then when I get back, I'll get back on the routine,
Exactly. And one thing that I really like that you just mentioned is it seems like with you, you've kind of really established like those habits and just kind of the fundamentals of training nutrition, because at the end of the day, a lot of people think like of going through a fat loss journey or any sort of fitness journey they have to like suffer to get the result, which isn't true at all. Like you don't have to starve yourself. You don't have to completely eliminate carbs or your favorite foods or cheat meals and all that stuff. You're doing all of that and you're still getting awesome results. So I think that's definitely a huge thing I want to kind of touch on in this live stream is this kind of overcoming that. There's so many myths, I guess, around this nutrition and kind of getting to your dream body. It doesn't have to be a means of suffering to get there. And you've kind of obviously defied that. So I'm really, really glad that you brought that up.
Yeah.
So my next question was, obviously now you have worked with both an in-person trainer as well as myself online. So I guess my question was, did you have any hesitations? Because obviously you worked with the in-person trainer first, and then me kind of recently, I think in March, you came onto the academy.
Right.
Was there any like initial hesitation working with an online trainer?
For me, personal is better just because you're there face to face working with them constantly. I think I told you this. My hesitation for somebody, like you, was just how will I communicate with you? And you've been very good to communicate with me, made it easy. And I mean, we've FaceTimed 2 or 3 times, and so that's been helpful. And man, you look amazing. I was like, okay, if this guy can do it. I saw the before and after you showed. I'm like, okay, if this, and then I watched some of your videos, and I love your personality. You're very outgoing. I like that, and you're not pushy to buy this or that from you, and I like that. And so, after I did some study, I really didn't have that much hesitation to use you at all. I mean, my thing was just I'm a in person. I mean, I communicate with people much better when I can see their face than over text or things like that. And I just didn't want it to be a bunch of text messages all the time, because
100%. And I think having that community aspect as well, just kind of with people that are on the exact same journey as you. Obviously, you got again, I do live streams in there every week where you're able to join, ask me, interact. You got the weekly challenge, all that stuff. So I think that's really kind of benefited you and kind of what some of the aspects that you don't necessarily get with an in-person trainer, because you only kind of get them 1 hour of the day, right? Versus with this, you get the training, nutrition, and kind of the accountability aspect, especially with the community stuff. So awesome, man. So my next question is, you kind of mentioned this already with your confidence, your self-image, but outside of your physical transformation, what sort of areas of your life do you think has improved? I know you mentioned your confidence, your self-image, but maybe anything else like energy levels or just your mood?
Well, I mean, one other thing I noticed, and I didn't mention this, was I had trouble sleeping and depressed, and I checked my testosterone levels, and they were extremely low. I mean, I'd wake up every morning and the night sweats, and not just a little moist on the sheets, but it's like like you peed the bed all over you. And and so I had my testosterone checked, and it was very low, and I got on testosterone injections weekly, and that's helped tremendously, I think, with all of it, with my energy. I mean, I know it's helped me. I mentioned my depression and some personal changes. I, at 57 years old, last year just came out publicly as that I'm gay, and I had been fighting that my whole life, and that was one of the reasons I was very depressed. And since I came out last year, and I started working on my outer stuff, and I started working on my inner stuff as well, and I've gotten that very well taken care of inner stuff, and I'm more at peace than I've ever been in my life. I'm happier than I've ever been in my life, and I think both that and then both my workout and redoing my outward appearance has helped me all. I think it's all made a big impact. So when somebody asks me, I can tell something's different. I have a lot to tell them, and a lot of reason why that is. And I will just say this: life is too short not to be yourself, not to be the way God made you. And no matter who's telling you, what's telling you, I mean, be yourself. And life's difficult whether you're straight or gay, so it doesn't matter. But life is so much better when you are your true, authentic self. And I believe that with all of my heart and soul.
Amazing, man. And that's honestly why I wanted to bring you on, because your story is like, first time you told me your story, I was blown away. I was like, wow, this guy has gone through everything. He's transformed his life. He seems like, I mean, I think I've been following your journey for about a year or so on Facebook, obviously through your posts, a couple of conversations that we had, and just
Right.
like one of the biggest things, obviously outside of your crazy like physical transformation, you look awesome, you're a lot stronger, all of that stuff, but just your mindset is like you're always super. It seems like you're always super positive and
Right.
happy. You're a lot happier. I know
Right.
you struggled with depression before you started your fitness journey, and so that's why one of the big reasons why I wanted to bring you on, because you've had such an awesome transformation beyond just the physical, which is
Right.
really I think overlooked sometimes when people want to go through a fitness journey.
Right. Oh yeah.
Oh,
It's all, diet, emotional health, physical health. It's all bound together. It is all
100%.
bound together.
You nailed it on the head, man. Cool. So last question I have for you.
Sure.
For anyone, obviously it's summertime now. Everybody wants to get in shape. Everybody wants to look good for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
For anyone that is thinking or wanting to start their own fitness journey, maybe they want to lose some fat or they want to build their strength or build some muscle, what would you say to a person like that that wants to start but isn't sure what to do?
Well, I mean, you got to make a decision to make a change. You don't have to make, 180-degree shift in 3 days. You can't. Mm-hmm. I mean, you can't go from looking like I did in 2016 to looking like I do now overnight. It's not going to happen. But you got to make small steps forward and make decisions, make good decisions. Don't say I'm going to go work out 6 days a week. Say I'm going to go work out 3 days a week and make it happen. And say I'm going to change I'm going to get a diet plan and I'm going to change that. And then do that stepwise. It's all a matter of steps and changing habits. And habits don't get changed until you've done something for at least 2 to 3 weeks regularly or more. And so change habits and make that happen. You've got to make a mind shift before you see a body shift.
Yeah.
And so take small steps forward and continue to make changes. When you see results and you need to step it up a little, then step it up. Then, once you accomplish 3 days a week, go up to 4 or 5 days a week, and just continue to work your nutrition plan, and get accountable. I mean, get friends that you work out with, or get a personal trainer, or get an online trainer like you who can keep you accountable and give you suggestions for your diet, give you suggestions for your workout in the gym, and then do it, and just do it, and do it regularly. And if there's times where you backslide, don't worry about it. One thing I've realized, you can't change the past. You can only change your future. So change your future every day, and make it better every day.
I love it, man. And that's another great point. I think most of the long-term success in fitness is just having your daily habits in check, right? I think especially you see this especially for like New Year's resolutions in January. Right. It's people have this like crazy surge of motivation, and it's like they do these huge steps where they do like cardio every day for an hour, they go to the gym every day, they cut their calories in half, they do all these like way too drastic of changes, and then they fall off in 2, 3, 4 weeks. So it's all about making small adjustments. You don't need to go crazy right off the bat, like you mentioned. You can make great progress 3 times a week if you're new. Absolutely. You don't need to go 6 times a week. So it's
exactly.
It's just being self-aware and just kind of having, I think, just having some sort of knowledge, baseline knowledge of training and nutrition obviously helps tremendously, but obviously most people just simply don't have that. So again, definitely does come down to habits.
Oh yeah. I think your habits, and that's, once I get in a habit, I'm pretty good at continuing.
Because that also turns into discipline, right? Once you kind of establish the habit, like you said, 2-3 months later, then it's like it's habitual.
That's what people say. How are you so disciplined? I don't know. I just do it. I mean, I just get up in the morning. I get up at 5:30 every morning and go to the gym. Nobody bothers me at 5:30 in the morning. If I try, that's another thing. If you try to do it after work, or things always come, especially if you got a family, which I got 4 kids. That's why I got a long time ago got used to going early in the morning, because nobody bothers you at 5:30 in the morning. I promise you.
Awesome. Cool. That's pretty much all the questions I have for you. Again, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really, really appreciate it. And I'm sure everyone that tuned in and watched this kind of got something out of your, again, the story that you had that you shared today, just absolutely incredible. So again, man, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate
Charlie.
you. I cannot wait to see your continued progress and over the next several months.
I appreciate you. Thanks for all your help.